That's it.
Okay. Hi, and welcome to Scoliosis podcast. Ellen Ross, my sidekick, is unwell, so get well soon, Ellen. Today we're going to talk about non-invasive ventilation and using a ventilator. And joining me today, I have Lou, who is the rep for. Welcome, Lou.
Hi, Martin. Good morning.
Great, thanks for joining us. Yeah, so, as I say, we've got, both you and I use a ventilator at night.
That's right.
When did you start using a ventilator?
I've been using the ventilator for about 20 years now. It was kind of given to me following a ended up in hospital and my lungs failed and I was put on ventilation, which resulted in then using nighttime ventilation when I got out of hospital. But they said that they think, I was needing it for a while, so that was kind of a wake-up call for me. So I've got my machine here. This is the one I'm using just now.
Okay.
It's quite a nice little machine. It's not too bad. What machine do you use, Martin?
I use a NIV 3 Plus.
Right.
Which, if I can just reverse screen, my screen, I'm gonna turn it around. Mine are rubbish.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Plus.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and with that, I have a ventilator, a humidifier. Okay.
Okay.
Because I haven't been using it as long as you have. I've been using mine for about 16 years.
Okay.
And it's about a year after I started to my airways were blocking, so they provided me with a humidifier as well, so the moisture will go up my airways and clear it up.
So when did you realise that you yourself needed a ventilator?
Well, I had respiratory failure in 2001, and I was in hospital for a couple.
Yeah.
And then I came out, I was discharged. I was actually okay for a few months, and I had a relapse.
Yeah.
And they put me on oxygen.
Okay.
And then it was, that was 2001. So in 2004, the Lane Fox unit, because I wasn't getting any respiratory support at the time, and we needed to find out what I could do to help my breathing.
Yeah.
And so I was referred to the Lane Fox unit, promises, and they said, "Oh, you need some help with breathing at night." And basically, the carbon dioxide was building up in my head, in my brain.
Well, that's
lying flat, breathing shallows. The breathing shallows quite a bit. So, it's not getting to your head. And so I was having severe headaches at night.
Right.
So,
Excuse me.
that's okay. It's nice having a desk. Nice having another desk.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So things that, like, how would somebody know that they would need ventilation? Things to kind of look out for are, like, if you're breathless or if you've got like headaches. I think headaches is like one of the main things, isn't it?
Yeah, I think having trouble breathing, headaches, particularly, I think during the day it's okay because you're up and about, but I think at night, so, it's like having to sit up at night or have a load of cushions so that I've elevated a bit.
Right.
Yeah, that helped. Then once I was admitted to the main Fox unit for a few days to have some testing, because obviously, right.
Yeah.
And so I was in for a few nights, and actually I did think I would still need to have oxygen.
Right.
Because I was actually having oxygen at night at home, and that was one of the problems, is the build-up of the gases. And they basically told me that if I left it any longer, it might eventually kill me.
Right. And from my friends, they seem to think that the BiPAP delivers oxygen when, in fact, it's just air, isn't it? It's just just to remind your lungs to breathe, really.
Yeah.
And to give them a bit of support. But obviously, if you can get oxygen with it as well, it's got ports to put oxygen for people that need oxygen at night. But if you're anybody's concerned, it's things like headaches, dizziness. For me, it was waking up and feeling like I had a massive hangover, even if I hadn't been drinking. And the, as you see, that's just the gases building up.
Yeah. So how did it affect?
At first, I was really annoyed at having to have this. I was quite independent and liked to go out and stay at friends and things like that. And of course, my first machine, it being 20 years ago, was quite heavy, and I'm quite a small girl. So, packing an overnight bag and packing this, breeze block of a ventilator wasn't that convenient. And then, of course, there was embarrassment factor. Friends wearing a mask, it made a noise. And yeah, a bit of a passion killer as well. I was with my husband, and that wasn't too bad, but it's where it doesn't feel very romantic having to wear something like that in bed every night. Thankfully, it's just. But yeah, I guess with just health in general, it felt like, and I must admit, I didn't use it a lot at first. I was adamant that I didn't need it. I was stubborn. And then further in, I got some tests, and my consultant was just brutally honest with me. He said, if you continue like this, you're not going to do well. So that was kind of another wake-up call, and I've used my machine every single night since then. What about you? Do you find it?
I was the same. Because I had a mask.
Yeah.
And so this, I think they call it the symmetry of your face. Mine's not level. So the mask was a bit wonky. And so I had a chronic sore on the bridge of my nose.
So did I.
Yeah. So, you know, and we used to laugh because people would ask, what's that sore on your nose? And I said, oh, my sister. And, you know, was joking about, but some people took it seriously.
Well, yeah, some people don't get it, do they?
But,
I've got one of my masks here. I don't use a mask anymore, but I've got one of the masks here, and if I show you by putting it on, as you can see, it's not the most glamorous. And this is kind of where you would get it rubber. But I have got better over the years. You also get things like this, which is a nasal thing. I still use my old nasal ones, which are a bit brutish.
That's the one I've got.
They're not making these anymore. So I'm trying to be careful with it. But you get full face masks as well. But I think people are given masks first, and I think maybe that's the resistance, because you do feel quite claustrophobic and you do get sores on your face. But I think if you can,
and you can't
if you want to get, if you can use something like this or like this, it's less constricting, and it does feel better. But tell me about, like, you go traveling a lot and
so I used to do a lot of traveling, both sort of adventurous, and the other was sort of like research trips on traveling for disabled people and their carers.
Okay. All right.
And two things that spring to mind. The first one is we've gone to Bordeaux. This was on a research trip where we met up with a group of people to share experience and information around access.
Okay.
On the return journey, we come to the airport in Bordeaux, and of course, I bring my ventilator as hand baggage.
Okay, yeah.
Because I just can't trust baggage handlers with things like that, because So anyway, at the customs, I had to unpack the ventilator.
Right.
And they said, no, we can't take it. It's oxygen. And I said, no, it's not oxygen. It's mechanical.
Yeah.
You switch it on and it blows air. The fan in the back just blows the air. And there's no oxygen. So we finally got through to that. And actually, unit, and I think they produced a leaflet so that if you go travelling, you can have this leaflet that explains what a ventilator is.
Yeah.
So,
well, thankfully, they're a lot more common now as well. So I know that when I've been through customs, they've even recognised the case that it comes in. And that, even the ones that don't speak English, they go, oh, breathing machine. But it's good. It is good to have a cover letter from your doctor if you're worried about things like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
and they don't count towards your baggage allowance either, which is
no,
good.
that's good.
Yeah.
And also it's nice that you have it on with you on a plane, because then if you need it, you can use it. And I mean, I've never used it. I think the comfort was there, the knowledge there that if I needed it, I could use it.
Yeah.
The other big thing with my travelling, it was a couple of years after actually. I got it, and we went to Rugby Island, which is a small remote island in the Bristol Channel.
All right,
I think the proper name is called Puffin Island.
All right.
There were no puffins there at the time.
Okay. Oh, at the time, okay.
So quite a small isolated island. They have electricity. However, they turn off the electricity at night.
Which is like a lot of the Scottish islands, yeah.
Yeah, like midnight to 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. So obviously we had to plan. You were saying earlier about when you have to pack up your ventilator. It's like a military operation, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so the Lane Fox unit lent me a backup battery, because the ventilator I had at the time didn't have a backup. And,
that's an
and the backup battery was like the size of a laptop.
And heavy, I bet.
Only heavy,
yeah.
So, but
so
is
there anything that you feel that you can't do with having the BiPAP? Or do you not let any? I think you're the type of guy that doesn't let anything stop you, Martin.
No, I can't think of anything that stops me. You know, I mean, I have this phrase that I don't believe in the word I can't. I don't believe in that phrase.
Right.
For me, it's about you can still do things, but you have to find a way around things.
Well, I think I need to take a few lessons from you then. I'll tell you one thing that I missed when I obviously I was a lot younger than I am now, when I started off with my BiPAP, is camping. Now, as you say, there's always ways around things, but I used to go to like music festivals and things like that and camp with my friends. And I mean, you can do that now. There is a lot more facilities at things like that. There's disabled areas with electric hookups and things like that. But they didn't kind of have that 20 years ago. So things are progressing. And like you say, external batteries and things like that.
Yeah. I mean, I did a lot of cycling. I met up with friends once a year on my cycle trips. And I think it was the first year we did the Hadrian cycle route. And I had a caravan. I couldn't camp. I couldn't camp because A, it was too cold for me. I prefer the cold easier. And B, I think it was a bit dangerous having a ventilator in a tent, with the risk of, the rain and that, even though it's waterproof. So I used it, I was lent a caravan, and that was great. It was a great thing, except that we just had to pack up everything every day, because we would be moving on to a different camp each night. So, it's a lot of work, but actually, I should say it was a lot of work for my friend that was supporting me, because she was, sorting everything out. you know, yeah, you can still do things. It's just
Yeah.
you have to plan things differently.
So one of the questions you sent me earlier was, will everyone with scoliosis need ventilation? You asked me that, didn't you?
Yeah.
And the answer is no. It depends on your lungs and how, I mean, corrective surgery nowadays is brilliant, but obviously curves weren't corrected. It depends on how your physiology is. If your spine is compressing on your lungs, which is a problem with me and you, it's a restriction. So, you know, not everyone will have problems with their lungs. But if you do, it's worth asking the doctor and getting referred to like a pulmonary unit to get some blow tests to measure your lung capacity, and sort of the first thing you get is a sleep study as well. Do you remember them? Have you had those, Martin?
I don't think I have actually.
Oh, lucky you. You get put in hospital and you get all these little stickers stuck on your legs and your head.
Oh yes, I think I might have done, yeah.
And then they tell you to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And it's the one night of the year.
Right.
Yeah, the one night of the year where you cannot sleep because someone has told you to sleep. But then they sort of measure everything while you're sleeping, and the apneas are just when you stop breathing, and it depends how many episodes you have a night, and obviously the BiPAP just to remind you to breathe, doesn't it, and support. Do you use your BiPAP during the day as well, even when you're not sleeping?
I do. It's not so much about sleeping at night. It's going on to get a bit more energy for the rest of the day. I think it started out really as a habit, really. You know, just, you know, it's bored to start with. I put my feet up, and obviously, when I first started having a ventilator, I wasn't doing any volunteer work or anything. I was probably still in my recovery stage. So I just put my feet up. But now, it is the advice from the doctor that, not compulsory, but, you know, in the afternoon to have my feet up and go on a ventilator.
I'm the same. I do that as well. Me and you are, I mean, as I say, we are quite similar in many ways, but we're quite advanced. You know, if someone gets prescribed a ventilator, it's not essential that you use it during the day, because, you know, because we are the way they are, it just gives our bodies a bit of a break, doesn't it? It kind of like, it takes the pressure off your heart and your lungs for a little while, so that when you get up and about again, you've got those reserves, haven't you?
Yeah. I mean, I have nights where, like you, I'm not sleeping. And it's funny actually, because when I go to the appointment, I don't know if it's the same with you, but when you go and have your annual checkup, or however often you have, you see a clinic nurse first, don't you? Where they do your blood pressure and temperature, and then they get you to blow in a spirometer. How 3 times. And then they ask you about, have you slept? And then what I suggest, and I sometimes wonder why the question, now I know, because more often than not, lately, in the last couple of months, I've not slept properly at night. I sort of keep waking up.
And maybe that's just with lockdown, and you know, maybe we're not getting enough stimulation to give us a good night's sleep. But I mean, our problems with sleeping aren't really related to the BiPAP, are they? They're just other things. I mean, you can get a good night's sleep on a BiPAP, and you know, anybody that's wary of it shouldn't be. It is there to help you, and it will help you, and it will give you, you know, that extra bit of strength to get through the day.
Yeah, I mean, when I was on it for the first time, even in the hospital, when I tried it for the first time, the headache went away almost instantaneously. And it was about a year I had what I called this honeymoon period.
Okay.
Where I could literally do anything. I actually walked, I went to Devon with a couple of friends, and I actually walked 2 miles comfortably for the first time in years. And then suddenly, thereafter, it sort of went downhill a bit, and obviously I can't walk that far now.
I think that's, I mean, sad. How old are you, Martin?
53. 54
Never.
December. Yeah.
Never. I thought you were about the same age as me. I'm 45. So, you know, our bodies are, you know, a bit tired, a bit jaded. We've passed our prime, perhaps, but I don't like admitting that. But you know, if you're younger, and you get told you need a BiPAP, it's not the end of the world. It could be the beginning of a new period of your life. So, you know, just try not to resist like I did and like Martin did at the beginning. If you need help, people, when I started, I didn't know anybody that had a ventilator. Internet wasn't a big thing. So nowadays, you know, it's all out there. You can speak to people like me and Martin online, and, you know, we can guide you through getting a ventilator, or if you think you need one, or if you're having problems with it. But what I would say is, if you do have one and you're struggling, it's about trying different masks and speak to your department, because they don't know you're struggling. If you're struggling, you know, you have to reach people.
Yeah, you have to be honest with the doctors.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I've been to the clinic a couple of times, and I've heard that, you know, 1 or 2 people who said they're having trouble with a ventilator, and they say they've been on it, but apparently there's a gadget in the ventilator that can actually tell technicians how long you've been on it.
That's right,
people have been caught out, you know,
yeah.
I'm sure. But, you know, yes, having a ventilator is not the end of the world.
No.
You can still live a normal and healthy life.
Yeah.
And in the case with sleep apnea, you may not be on it forever. I have a friend that was only on it for about a year.
Right,
she improved.
Right.
Yeah, about a year and a half.
Right.
And, you know, she's improved. So she doesn't need it, but obviously for us, with us,
well, I've with skeletal,
you know, and it could get worse, it could stabilise. I mean, I'm having weekly physio, well, physio stroke gym.
Okay.
And actually my last appointment, the doctor did say, because for the first time in 3-4 years, it was year, when I went to see them, I had this barometer test, and he actually said that they were the best since 2015.
Right. Wow.
And he asked me, what am I doing? And I said, well, I'm going to the gym each week.
Right.
And which is, I have, which is, well, it's a bit of a gym and a bit physio.
Okay.
The physiotherapist is the personal trainer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that is great because they've got the knowledge on both sides. So, and, you know, I've kept that up.
Do you ever go swimming?
Everyone.
Do you ever go swimming?
I used to.
They say, you know, they say that's the best exercise for your lungs.
Oh, it is, but first I don't like the cold water.
No, me neither.
I have been to a timeshare pool, but going to a public pool is not really practical for me because I have a catheter.
Right.
So it's a bit sort of embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want the whole world to see, to look at, you know, I'll get scared enough as it is.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah. So, you know.
But yeah, is there anything else that you think maybe we've not covered?
Only that if anyone, if you're on Facebook, if the viewers or listeners watching this are on Facebook, there is a support group that I set up called the NIV Support Group UK.
NIV Support Group UK. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
that's
Facebook.
And NIV is just non-invasive ventilation. And by non-invasive, we mean, you know, it's on the outside of your body. It's not tracheal. Right.
No, I mean,
so
because that's what I had when I had the respiratory, an invasive one. I had a tracheotomy because they couldn't get the tube down my throat.
Well, that's why I had, but mine was because obviously I had a road accident and I was hit by a motorbike. So, you know, I was a bit out of it. So this was done in emergency, but it was taken out before I left the hospital. And again, you know, anybody that needs ventilation, don't think about that. This is the kind of thing that you would be given. But yeah, so yeah, don't be afraid of it. There is support out there. And if you think you need it, you know, make inquiries if you're worried about your breathing. There's a lot of people that just struggle in silence, I think. A lot of the scoliosis boards and things that I've read, you know, there's a lot of people saying that they're having problems breathing or not feeling great.
You know, and of course, if people want more information about scoliosis, or they want to either contact me or Lou, they can contact us via talk or info@talk.org.uk or they can look for us on, we're both on Facebook. I'm Aspects of Martin. Okay,
I'm Lou Williamson. You'll get me on Facebook.
Someone created that for me.
I like that.
I had the website created some years ago, and they came up with Aspects of Martin because of the variety of things that I do, the charity work, the fundraising, the adventures, and campaigning, advocacy, you know,
So
peer
you're a
support.
very active person. Okay. Thank you for having me on as your guest.
Thank you for
Been a
joining
pleasure.
me.
Been a pleasure.
Yeah, great talking to you. Thank you for joining us, and join us next time for next episode. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.